Reactive abuse occurs when a person who is constantly subjected to abusive behavior reacts to the ongoing abuse by lashing out in self-defense. The abuser then uses this reaction to further manipulate or control the victim, often painting themselves as the real victim. This form of abuse often goes unnoticed, primarily because it's disguised in the shadow of gaslighting, a manipulative technique that distorts a person's reality. Recognizing the signs of reactive abuse and gaslighting can be an uphill task, particularly when you're caught up in the midst of it. It's like trying to read the label from inside the jar. However, being aware of these signs is the first step towards reclaiming your peace and sanity. One of the most common signs of gaslighting is continuous self-doubt. If you find yourself constantly questioning your actions, reactions, and even feelings, this could be a red flag. It is important to note that by self-doubt we do not mean occasional second thoughts or healthy introspection, but rather an incessant uncertainty instilled by the abuser's manipulative tactics. The abuser aims to make you question your own judgment and perception, leaving you dependent on them to define what is real and what is fantasy. Guilt is a powerful emotion and a key tool in the arsenal of a gaslighting abuser. If you are persistently feeling guilty, especially when you know rationally that you have done nothing wrong, or if you find yourself apologizing excessively for minor issues, you might be a victim of reactive abuse. The abuser strategically triggers guilt to make you feel responsible for their actions, reactions, or emotional state. Living in constant fear of how your actions or words might incite your partner is another clear sign of an abusive relationship. This is often referred to as walking on eggshells. You may find yourself censoring your words, suppressing your emotions, or stifling your needs to avoid provoking the abuser. This chronic anxiety and fear is far from the freedom, comfort, and safety that a healthy relationship should provide. Another significant warning sign is when you start blaming yourself for your partner's abusive behavior. This is a direct result of the abuser's frequent insinuations that their actions are a reaction to your behavior. They may say things like, "You made me do this," or, "If only you didn't." If you find yourself internalizing these accusations and blaming yourself, it's time to step back and reassess the situation. Remember, you are not responsible for anyone else's abusive behavior. Recognizing these signs is critical in understanding if you're trapped in a cycle of reactive abuse and gaslighting. These signs can often be subtle and easily dismissed, which is why they can be so insidious. But acknowledging them is the first step towards breaking free from the toxic patterns and moving towards healing and recovery. Reactive abuse can have a profound and lasting impact on its victims. It can lead to a variety of psychological issues, ranging from anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other forms of mental distress. Victims often also experience feelings of guilt, shame, and self-blame, especially if they have been led to believe that their reactions to the abuse are unjustified or abusive. The constant cycle of abuse and reaction leaves victims feeling emotionally drained. They may experience mood swings, emotional instability, and difficulties in managing their emotions. Over time, this can lead to a sense of emotional numbness or detachment. Reactive abuse also undermines the victim's self-identity and self-esteem. As the victim is repeatedly blamed for their reactions to the abuse, they may start to question their own worth and capabilities. This can lead to a deep sense of insecurity and low self-esteem. While reactive abuse is primarily psychological, it can also have physical repercussions. The ongoing stress and anxiety associated with the abuse can lead to various health issues, including insomnia, headaches, digestive problems, and other stress-related conditions. To deal with the relentless cycle of abuse, victims also sometimes develop unhealthy coping mechanisms. These could include substance abuse, self-harm, or other harmful behaviors. Finding yourself in a reactive abuse cycle can be a disorienting and distressing experience. It's crucial to remember that there are steps you can take to navigate your way out of this toxic pattern. This will be a journey that takes time and patience. These strategies are not quick fixes, but they can provide a foundation for breaking free from the cycle and moving towards a healthier, happier life. The first step towards change is acknowledging that you're in a reactive abuse cycle. This realization can be tough, but it's vital in starting your journey towards recovery. Accept that you're dealing with an abusive situation and understand that no one deserves to be treated this way. Professional help is invaluable when dealing with reactive abuse. Therapists and counselors who specialize in abuse and trauma can provide you with the necessary tools to understand and cope with your situation. They can help you rebuild your confidence, establish boundaries, and develop strategies to break free from the abuse. Establishing clear boundaries is a vital step in navigating out of a reactive abuse cycle. These boundaries are guidelines for expected behavior, treatment, and interaction. They might include limits on what you will tolerate, expectations of respect, and guidelines for personal space. Articulating these boundaries to the abuser may be difficult, but it's an important part of regaining control over your life. Remember, it's not just about setting boundaries, but also about enforcing them. Keeping a record of abusive incidents can be a helpful tool in understanding the patterns and severity of abuse. Journaling can serve two key purposes. First, it can provide a clear record of events, which can be useful if you decide to seek legal help. Second, it can help you validate your experiences. By keeping a record, you can look back and see the reality of the situation, which can be especially helpful when dealing with gaslighting and manipulation. Don't isolate yourself. Reach out to friends, family, or support groups who can provide emotional support and practical advice. Having a strong support network can remind you that you're not alone in this journey and can offer a safe space for you to express your feelings and fears. If you're in a situation where your safety is at risk, developing an exit plan is crucial. This could involve setting aside emergency funds, securing a safe place to stay, or confiding in a trusted person about your situation. Always remember, your safety comes first. Reactive abuse and gaslighting are complex and insidious forms of emotional manipulation that can leave deep psychological scars. They can shatter self-esteem, create a cycle of guilt and self-blame, and lead to a constant state of anxiety and fear. With time, patience, and the right support, you can overcome this, heal, and move forward into a life defined not by abuse, but by respect, peace, and positivity. For more information about narcissists and narcissistic abuse, visit www.carlacorelli.com.